My son and his wife abandoned me at the hospital, but the lawyer arrived with news that left them crying. I never imagined that my son and his wife would abandon me at the hospital like that. It all started when I was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer that required immediate surgery. My son, who I'll call Tom, was the one who drove me to the hospital. He was always the responsible one, unlike his sister, who had her own problems to deal with. Tom said he would stay with me in the hospital, but after the surgery, he and his wife, Emma, left me alone in the recovery room. I was confused and scared. Why did they leave me? I thought they cared about me. I tried calling out for help, but no one came. I felt completely abandoned. Just when I thought I couldn't take it anymore, a lawyer I had hired to handle my estate arrived. She told me she had a big surprise for me and handed me a document. It was a copy of the will I had made 10 years earlier, which stated that all my property would be divided equally among my 2 children. This included my house, my savings, and my late husband's insurance policy. But here's the thing. When I made the will, Tom was only 16 and his sister, Lily, was 18. The lawyer told me that since Tom was a minor when the will was made, it didn't hold any legal weight. In other words, the will was only valid for Lily. Now you might ask why. Well, back then Lily was already out of high school, had a full-time job, and was taking care of her boyfriend, who had an accident. Tom, on the other hand, was still in high school. Now that I knew the truth, I wasn't angry anymore. I was heartbroken. I felt like Tom and Emma had planned this. They probably thought I would make it out of surgery and they wanted to get their hands on my money. I felt betrayed by my own flesh and blood. The lawyer said we needed to talk, so she took me home. We met with the priest who had witnessed my will, and he confirmed everything the lawyer had told me. Then the lawyer went through all my documents and found out how much money I had and what properties I owned. She also discovered that Tom and Emma had emptied my bank accounts and taken out loans in my name. They had even put liens on my house and my late husband's insurance policy. At that point, I knew there was nothing left for me. My health was in the toilet. I couldn't afford treatment, and now my own son and his wife had stolen everything from me. I felt like giving up. The lawyer told me I had the options. One was to file for bankruptcy and let the court deal with my debt. The other was to sue my son and his wife. I didn't want to go down that road, but I didn't have any other choice. When my son and his wife were served the papers, they cried. They begged me to forgive them, saying they were sorry. But I told them it was too late. They had hurt me too much as the trial date approached. Things got ugly. My son and his wife tried to bribe me with money, but I refused to take it. I was determined to get justice. On the day of the trial, both my children showed up. Tom and his wife, Emma, looked pale and shaken. Lily, on the other hand, seemed calm and confident. She had her own lawyer, and she wasn't afraid to speak her mind. The judge listened to both sides of the story and then made his decision. He ruled that my will was valid and that Lily was entitled to half of my estate. As for Tom, he got nothing. He had tried to take advantage of me when I was at my most vulnerable, and the judge wasn't having it. After the hearing, Lily and her lawyer approached me. They told me they were on my side and that they would help me get my life back on track. Tom and Emma walked away with their heads held low. They knew they had been caught. In the end, I was grateful for the support of my daughter and her lawyer. They helped me through a very difficult time in my life. As for Tom and Emma, they learned the hard way that family isn't just about blood. It's about love, trust, and loyalty.